Before I even say a word about Bisarr's music, and trust me, I have plenty to say about it, I need you to just take a moment to look at the album artwork. This album artwork alone is why this has been such a highly anticipated album and debut for me in 2023. Well, that, and knowing that any trad folk Nicholas Konradsen touches is going to be made with all the care and respect that it deserves, and then some. Bisarr is a UK-based folk duo formed by Nicholas Konradsen and James Noble, who play contemporary folk and traditional style folk music, primarily inspired by Scandinavian and other Northern European folk traditions, featuring cittern, bagpipes, ode, hurdy-gurdy, and more. Bisarr is also the name of their debut album, which is one of the most charming and unique trad folk albums I've ever had the pleasure of listening to. So let's jump right into why I think this is already one of the best folk albums of 2023, and a great entry point for any of you guys who are a little reluctant or tepid in exploring the traditional side of things. So let's get into it. Bisarr wastes no time getting right into it with one of my favorite tracks on the album, Icky Sticky Polska. This tune features the hurdy-gurdy and the cittern, both played in a haunting and trippy modal manner that makes me feel like I've just stepped into another world with the use of these ancient-sounding modes and scales. Let's take a listen. If my memory serves me correctly, this was the first single released to anticipate the full album, and from here on, I just couldn't wait to hear what else they had in store for us. And man, moving right along to the second track, Brunåkers Polska, I couldn't be more impressed. With this track being on the more traditional and major side of Northern European trad folk, and the opening track defying most classification if not for the Polska tag, Bisarr wastes no time showing us their impressive stylistic breadth and diversity of their sound in just the first 6 minutes of their debut album. This, to me, is everything a debut album should be, in my opinion. You want to make a statement about who you are as an artist or a band as quickly as possible in this age of oversaturation of entertainment when new bands are popping out left and right. You've got to make sure that you make a statement as quickly as possible. It's just the way it is, and Bisarr does this beautifully. But don't be fooled. Just because my favorite 2 tracks on the album happen to be the first 2 tracks of the album, this does not mean in any way that Bisarr loses steam after starting off the album with the bang. Dansen Ungdom, for instance, shows the duo's beautiful vocal harmonies, and Aljubunuk, Nicholas, please tell me how badly I butchered that, shows some incredibly fun contrapuntal play between the hurdy-gurdy and the cittern. Hästskjellskötersche is another fun one, for as soon as it starts, you feel like you've just walked into a medieval tavern that's about to get a little rowdy. And finally, the tune on this album that actually stuck with me the most was the closing track, Visa från Venjan. I remember this tune actually caused me to stop in my tracks while I was walking across campus doing my first listen of it. I don't want to ruin any surprise or any sense of wonder by playing an excerpt here, so you'll just have to check this track out for yourself. But it's a really stunning tune that, again, between this and the first 2 tracks, shows that these musicians are incredibly versatile and talented, and I really cannot wait to see what they have in store for us in the future. And so, friends, that wraps up my review of Bisarr's debut album, Bisarr, a real treat for those of us who love traditional folk music. Between this, Vessen's latest album, and Sun and Moon Dance's traditional album coming up in a couple weeks in May, this is just going to be a killer year to be a fan of traditional Nordic folk music, or folk music of any kind from around the North Sea. So please check out this album on Bandcamp and support the artist directly if you can. New artists need all the help they can get these days, as do new YouTube content creators such as myself. If you guys want to support the show, you can either like, share, or subscribe here on YouTube, and if you want to support the show more directly, head on over to patreon.com/baldscald, link down below in the description, to check out the various tiers I have over there too. Thank you guys as always for watching, and I look forward to seeing y'all next time on the Nordic Sound channel.